Hi there, welcome to the More Sibyl podcast. This is a podcast for Blacks, Asians, and those who love them. I am Mo, and I am your host, ready to spark your curiosity as I take you on this adventurous ride of exploring cultures through the stories of my guests from all over the world. On this show, we get really personal, discussing salient issues that are relevant to our contemporary age and also building community around them. As our guests exercise courage and vulnerability in sharing their life's experiences, we hope that in turn you are inspired by them and that you get the courage needed to set your own stories free. Enjoy the ride, and thank you so much for listening. Woo, child. All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. This is the More Sibyl podcast. As you might have noticed by my voice, only my voice, our co-host couldn't be here today, so you'll be hearing more from him next time. Today's a different kind of podcast format because I have the privilege of visiting a lovely couple. They actually invited us over, so I'm here with my family, and I'm so stoked to share their story. So you guys should just get ready for a fun time. So I met a little bit of a backstory. I met the wife first. She was actually a student in my university. I don't think she's ever taken any of my classes. I think as I was entering, she was leaving. But you know that thing where you don't find a lot of Africans in places like Oklahoma. So we kind of got connected through a mutual friend. This will be Amaka Anudo, and the rest, as I say, is history. She's from Ghana, and her husband is from Ghana as well. And in the next few minutes or so, we will be sharing their experiences, just being from Ghana, moving to the US, and raising kids here, what they do on the side, their ministry, and all of that kind of fun stuff. So even though I have talked about the wife, now let me talk about the husband. Well, he has a PhD in computer science, and he's very passionate about teaching, which started from the house of the Lord. He's now a full-time assistant professor teaching computer science courses at a university here in Oklahoma. And as a teacher, he looks forward to sharing his knowledge with the next generation. Well, without further ado, guys, please join me in welcoming the Oseis to the podcast. Hello. Hey. First of all, thank you so much. Guys, it took me like a whole decade to put all of my setup together, but they're very nice and helpful. Well, we usually start with the basic questions on the podcast. So tell us a little bit about both of you. And it's kind of different because it's two people on the show at once. And this is live, which I'm super excited about. So maybe you guys take turns and tell us about, a little bit about yourselves. That's something that we've not mentioned in the introduction.
Okay. Something about myself. I think you kind of said I do a lot, basically. I try to occupy my time and make good use of my time. So that is something I always, when I have something going, I need to find something to do, or I just do something with the kids. I want to maximize my time, basically.
Maybe you need to show us the way, how you're able to maximize your time. Okay. If you have a book, are you planning to write a book on that?
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, because it seems like you're a man of many interests. Yeah. Yes, even the short time I've spent with you today, I've learned like 4 things about you.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing more than that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hopefully we can explore those aspects within the next few. Yeah. And the other doctor say?
So I'll say I'm the exact opposite. He's the technical guy, and I'm the more analytical. Yeah. I'm a pharmacist. So apart from working with the kids at home, I work in the pharmacy full time. But I also like taking care of kids. Like back home, I used to work with kids a lot, and has really taught me so many things about raising my own children. Yeah. Apart from that, I also love to sing and also volunteer wherever my hands finds me.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So the singing part is not like shower records in the bathroom, like you really sing.
Oh, just praise and worship.
Oh, praise and worship in church. Okay. So I learned this today for the first time, that you guys actually met in Ghana.
Yeah.
I was under the impression you met here in the US. So maybe just tell us a little bit about growing up in Ghana and how you found each other.
I'll say we moved to a place that they were already living. So,
how old were you then?
This is back in 94, 95,
okay, yeah.
so a long time ago. Yeah. So I found them because it's about like 3 houses in between our houses.
Yeah.
So I just walked to them. She has 2 older brothers that I played with all the time, and then I started going to their church. So
because you were copying her, or was it you just there for the brothers?
No. She was
she's still a baby there. Okay, you're still young there. Yeah.
I'm 4 years older than her.
Oh, but still, yeah.
I mean, we were kids, so
okay.
Your mind
you ready then? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, that's how we met from the beginning.
Yeah, and then you moved here in 1998. You said. Yeah, I think you're the first person in a long while that I've heard like moved here in the 90s. Usually, people like meet that 2005, like 1990 seems like many years ago.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too long after you guys moved to that area that you moved to the US, correct?
Yeah, 98. Yeah. We came here for a little bit, went back.
Yeah.
And came because I had to go to school for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I moved here. I think it was right before 9/11, and then so I had to stay for a little bit, and then
come back because I think they started changing a lot of the international student stuff. It became more strict. Yeah. So how about you? What was your recollection of when you first met him? The other Dr. Osei.
Yes. So that was kind of different because we were like he was friends with my brothers. Mm-hmm. So whenever he came to our house, it was just them. Like, I mean, I would be playing with my own squad and he was playing with my brothers. And he came here, and then I don't know, he had to come back in 2011. And I think he said when he came, I had changed, you know.
Well, in what way? Like, oh, you had blossom. Yeah. So it's like, that little scrawny girl.
Like, that's not the little girl that I know.
Yeah.
And when he came, my brother wasn't there, so I was the one entertaining him. So that's when it all started, you know.
Yeah.
It made us. It started from like friendship.
Yeah, and then
and then the rest is history.
Yeah. So he came in 1998. What year did you come to the US?
2002. After we got married.
Oh, so you got married? What? When did you get married?
2012.
Wow. So that was like about. That's quite a time. Like 14 years.
10 years.
So how many years did you guys date for?
I'll say about 6 months. And we got married, and then a year she came here. Because I went to Ghana in May.
Okay.
And then that's when we started talking.
Official. But then you were still friends in the background.
Yeah. And so in December, then I went over there, and then we did the
traditional stuff. Yeah.
And then So in August, I went back. We did the wedding, and then we came here.
So I've heard it said that when men sometimes sees their wife, they go like, "I'm gonna marry that girl." Like you kind of know. Was that the same case for you?
Yeah. It's like I had because I like to. Back in the day, I was reading a lot, like psychology, and try to understand
people's minds. Yeah.
So it was one guy that explained how you can determine by specific questions that you ask. So I asked her these 3 questions, and then it was like, this will be the person. So,
Are you at liberty to tell those 3 questions in case some people might be listening?
I forgot.
Oh, dang it!
I use it.
You use it, and she checked all the boxes.
Yeah, I eliminated a bunch of people and find the right one. I was like, there's no need for it. But it was really good.
Yeah.
I really wish I could.
But you were just being yourself, right? You know, Nana, you were just, we didn't even know that they were actually grading you.
I asked him really tough questions.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like people to come waste my time.
Yeah.
I was looking for a few things. Somebody who feared God.
Yeah.
Somebody that we had the same thing in common.
Yeah.
I realized that he really liked to work with kids, and he's very serviceable.
Yeah.
And I was looking for somebody who is also kind, and
into that.
One thing that I realized was that I like the way that he treated other people. Like, you know how sometimes people, when they realize that you are not within certain social he would treat everybody with so much kindness and respect, and that's what really made me get a really soft spot.
Oh, that's nice. I've heard this. I think it's what you're trying to explain is that you know the character of a person, the way they treat somebody, they don't have to be nice to, right? Yeah. Okay, that's really good. So 2012 is when you guys got married. So 10 years anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy married life. Thank and congrats on making it this far. This is like 100 years in Hollywood, you know. So moving to the US, you know, you probably had your own challenges as well. And I bet you guys were you moved after you got married, right?
Yeah.
I imagine that being in Ghana, there's some, and let me just compare that to Nigeria and let me know if there are some similarities or if there are some differences. Like there's a cushion you have back home, like there's that support, but when you move here, you feel so isolated on top of all the extra things that are going on, the things you're exposed to, discrimination. Let's add that into the bucket. How was the first year of marriage? What would you say was the most difficult part of it for you guys?
Say trying to understand people, like I talking about like between us, so
it could be within and outside of you guys as well. Yeah.
So I think I'll start with outside. I think I had to really learn the culture, and also how to communicate with other people. I had to learn that some things which are common to us
might be different.
Yeah, might be different to them. So if I'm communicating, I should just rather put it in the perspective of the people and in the culture here, so that I can make so much sense. Yeah.
And I bet him coming here first before you, he probably helped you. Yeah.
That helped a whole lot because there were some words.
Tell us some words like.
There were some words that, you know, back home, when you use it, it's not that kind of a big deal.
Like example. Like we don't want to get cancelled. Like that kind of word, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They say it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then there was let's say how do you call it? Like, be careful.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you don't take care, you are not going to get it. But say if you are not careful, like using kind of words that will make more sense for you.
Like it was just like a little bit of some cultural differences.
Yes, exactly.
And you landed in Langston. You were in Langston, right?
Yeah, I think I went to Langston maybe 2 years after we got married.
But Oklahoma was your first base.
Yeah.
You've always lived in Oklahoma.
No. I went to high school in Illinois.
Oh, Chicago.
And then came here.
Oh, what part of Illinois? Sorry, I just said Chicago.
It's called Bolingbrook.
Look at me. Everybody hears Illinois.
It's outside
of Chicago. Yeah.
It's a suburb outside. Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow. Now you have kids. You have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long after you guys got married did you have your first kid?
A year.
A year. Okay.
Yeah.
And what would you say was the difficult part of just, raising kids, especially here in the US, given how you guys grew up, in a different kind of part of the world? And then, so what would you say are the challenges and the opportunities?
She actually figured out, because at that time I did not know anything. And then, about health insurance, all this stuff. So we were trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then we called some of these insurance people. They was like, we're not going to support your wife is already pregnant. It's like
pre-existing condition.
Yeah, exactly. They were comparing.
Don't you hate when they do that?
Like a car accident, saying like you call in for insurance while you already have an accident. It's too late. You can't do that. So she actually find some resources and find something called Sooner Care. Because I didn't know.
Yeah, like a state Medicaid, to help out.
They help out. Yeah. So she did a lot to.
So your pharmacy background kind of helped out.
No, I didn't even know pharmacy back then, but I think that really helped me. All those experiences, I'm able to apply right now in my country
to help your patients.
My patients, because in Norman, most of them are students, international, and then some of them don't have insurance.
They don't have insurance. Yeah,
I'm able to help them find something over the counter, resources available.
Cheaper.
So yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So I have a daughter, as you guys know, and Oh, first Kukwan, do you speak any of your languages? Like in Ga or
Chi.
Twi. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to teach my daughter Yoruba. And it's so hard. I didn't know how hard it was to teach somebody a language. And I think because if you were growing up in Nigeria, you're not very actively teaching your kids because they get exposed to it, because we tend to live in geographical locations where our cultures are kind of, saturated. Like they go to school, on the playground, at church, there's always, that language transfer going on. Yeah. But here it's like, you have to keep exposing them. You become the bus driver. You become the Sunday school teacher. It's like 5 person wrapped in one. Have you succeeded in teaching any of your kids in Twi?
I would say the oldest one, we're getting a little bit successful. Yeah. But the only challenge is that most of her friends, we don't have a lot of Africans
around. Yeah.
I don't know, like Ghanaian. Yeah. That will speak the same
languages. Yeah.
But we try, and I think what we've got into is that whatever we say, she understands
it.
And if she doesn't understand anything, she come and
ask
how do we say or pronounce this word in Chi? Yeah. So for her, we're still working on. But the second one for Cassie, I think. She had a little bit and a bit. So we are concentrating on like the English first because
to build on top of that.
Was a challenge for us.
Yeah.
But for Candy, for the others, we just go
trying. Yeah. Do you feel pressure in a way to kind of like teach them the language?
No. At first, I felt like pressure, but. The second one, Cassie really taught me so many
patience,
lessons. I mean, the most important thing is they're able to communicate. They know where they are coming from.
Yeah.
They know the culture, the norms. And with her, the priority was getting her to talk.
Yeah.
Like speak, communicate. So maybe being able to talk in the local language
will be like a bigger goal. You can always add on top of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and are you willing to talk more about, the second? Do you want to talk a little bit about your daughter, the second daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, I can, because it's such a timely one. Because this past week we talked about, we had Choma on the show, who works with kids with autism, and she volunteers heavily in Nigeria. And there's so many, weakened infrastructure in the healthcare system, and how much more. Like for special education and even equipping parents. I don't know how Ghana is. Maybe let's even talk about your second daughter a little bit. I don't know how Ghana is, but in Nigeria, our healthcare system, we operate out-of-pocket model, and which makes it incredibly hard for those who are already socioeconomically disadvantaged to get access to healthcare. So in Ghana, another thing is also the perception about autism. It's not very, I don't know, they sometimes just want to hide it because they're not well equipped, and I'm not trying to blame some of these parents because they don't have the tools. So what's Ghana like in
I think Ghana is kind of people even don't really know what that is, and as a I still don't really know where we are right now. We're still learning about it, and it's not that I want to really accept it, I'm still on the fence
about
it's a whole lot of things to just like soak in and all that, but I feel that in Ghana culturally people don't really know about it. They'll be like, oh yeah, you need to
pray,
train them up in the way they should go, like they'll grow out of it. And I don't think so many people know about that, and let alone the resources to like handle that. And I don't even know how they incorporate them into the public school system over there, and it's kind of quite new to them, and I believe it's something that they are beginning to learn from.
Okay, so Candice is like 8, right, or 9?
Candice is
9, and then Cassie is 6. Okay, so I mean, first child you get so much experience, you learn on the go, and then the second child, and then you have a baby now, right? And so between Candice and Cassie, were they like, how would you even talk about the pregnancies? Usually mothers might say, oh, it felt different or it was the same. Are you able to do a bit of comparison and contrast? I'm also going to ask Daddy's perspective too, but let's start with Mom first.
Yeah, for Candice, I was sick a whole lot. And I think it happened so quickly because I was still trying to navigate through the culture.
Yeah.
And then I found out that I'm pregnant. And then with little support here, I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest fear was who is going to help me. I know my husband is there; he's very helpful and all that. But back home,
you had a maid.
If somebody gives birth, like you don't even get to
carry the baby.
Yeah, the only thing you do is
feed the baby. Yeah,
and like kind of thinking about, hey, I'm not going to get all those kind of support.
Yeah.
Like, it scared me a little bit, but then that also pushed me to also learn more about how to take care of children. And the funny thing was that my mom did that for many young people, and I think she still continues to do that. So it kind of helped me. Like whenever she went to their homes and then take up, I was always
like Omogbo. We call them Omogbo.
Exactly. So I was always watching her. I was always helping her, not knowing that one day those are going to come in handy.
Yeah.
So with the first one, I think I really tapped into that kind of experience. And that pushed me through. And by the time Cassie came along, I've done this one before.
It's like, I got this, right?
I just only need to refresh on some few stuff. And besides, they're only 2 years apart.
So they're like, almost Irish twins. Yeah.
And then for Karis, after 6 whole years, I felt like I didn't know anything anymore. I went back, did the reading. Besides, the time was going by, so I was in pharmacy school. I didn't have so much time for myself. I was doing
exams and
rotation, but I'm like, whatever. Let's just move along with that. Yeah. But it went by so
fast. Yeah. So how was it like for you, Dad? Like just the children raising them, and even them coming.
My way is really simple. You just figure it out as you go. And then you build on experiences. Once you know what to do, you repeat it. Well, if it didn't work, now you know what to. So it's just whatever comes, we'll deal with it.
So even talking about Cassie, from what I know about children on the spectrum, it's very hard to diagnose one. Even talking about that in the same vein, it's overdiagnosed, especially the ADHD components. And the drawback is that sometimes people are those in power. So when I talk about power, I talk about healthcare providers. They're most of them are always in a hurry to place those kids on medications. And because I'm a foster mom. We've done fostering. You see a lot of that. A lot of foster kids on antipsychotics and ADHD medications. So I guess for maybe parents that might be in your position, looking back now, what are some signs about Cassie before the diagnosis was officially made?
It just the main thing with her is just communication. And she will only kind of talk when she really needs something. So that's the only thing. When you're trying to get her to do something, she might do it or she might not do it. So it depends on her mood, and that has been the only problem. But other than that, she can read. She can do whatever she want to do.
Nice.
She can whatever that she really want to do. She
does it by herself.
Yeah, she will grab a computer, go to her page, and find whatever. She just do it. But if you try to talk to her, she might not give you the answers that you want, or she might not even answer you at all.
Oh, okay. So just communication part. And those things are things that with IEPs and therapies and behavioral therapies, she's able to gain those skills. Now, does she go to a regular school or?
Yeah, she does.
Okay. So she's like grade 1 right now.
Yeah, first grade.
First grade. Yeah. So another thing I know is that with kids on the spectrum, there's usually one topic that they're very fascinated about. Cassie, but one of my friends' son, he's autistic and is into paddleboards. He can tell you everything about paddleboards. Is there anything Cassie is overtly excited about? that she can go on and on about.
I mean, she liked that toy, LOL, and
the one she was showing. Yeah,
and then she would go on YouTube, find those, and now she started watching people making cakes.
Yeah. Cakes.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
Maybe you guys can bake together and
She was, and the most surprising thing is that like she keeps showing out a whole lot more, and I believe that there's so much that she knows that we've not even discovered yet.
Yeah.
Because she would type in like Skittles. There's like some Skittles videos, Skittles men, and I didn't know how that she could type the word Skittles
on there to find it.
To find it. And even cake, like cooking. Cassie, show us what you...
Just go to the browser history.
Yeah.
Let's learn about Cassie today.
Yeah, Claire deleted all the history.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds.
She's gone again. And how long ago was this diagnosis made?
Let's say...
About a month ago or something like that.
Oh.
No, that's the 23rd. Yeah, that's when the report
last
came.
month?
Yeah, last month.
Oh, so it's still fresh.
Yeah, it's still fresh. But I mean, I'm not surprised. But still, like I said, we're still on the fence.
On the fence about accepting the diagnosis.
Yeah, I don't want to really accept it, but because I don't want people to put I'm really
label. Yes.
I'm really focused on. We are really focused on the outcomes. Like, if she's not doing this is what I want to see her
to help
do.
her.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes you make it all about the diagnosis.
The labels,
Yeah, the labels.
People are too quick to conclude.
You are not really able to help them, and there's so much more within her that you are not really able to tap into.
Yeah.
Because of maybe a label or maybe a you wouldn't really be able to push her. To become what you want to see her.
Yeah. I think you guys are going at it the right way. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not the diagnosis that really matters. Is how are we going to equip her? And it seems like she's already gained some skills. Because all this while you didn't even know, and she's able to do some things. Because again, I think the most fascinating thing, and I use that word carefully, about being on the spectrum is the spectrum. Kids are on different, but I think what blows my mind is just the ability they have. Like almost like we need to understand them more, and it's a different way they communicate. They see the world differently. But I'm glad that you guys are in this part of the world, where even though you're Ghanaians at heart, you're able to even bring some of your cultural piece, but you're in a place that supports, there's therapy, there's, tools to like help out. Yeah. For parents who might be struggling, because number one, thank you so much for sharing that, because I didn't even know it was this recent. For parents who are, in your shoes and maybe are so overwhelmed, what kind of words can you say to encourage them, or even, give them some glimmer of hope?
So first of all, just share with God, all things are possible. They're not too hard for God. And then second of all is that they are much more than a diagnosis. They are much more than a label. They have so much inside of them that you have not even yet tapped into. So just treat them as individuals. You shouldn't, and then you should also be careful of what you allow other people to say about them or to put on them. They are your child. You know them better than any psychologist or anybody else. And then I believe that early intervention is very, very key. Once you find out that okay, there's a problem with the speech, you have to start patiently working on that. And then try to put the diagnosis maybe on the back bench, and then try to treat the child as your child. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to nurture and help it come out from the child. And then second of all too is you are very good parents. It's not your fault. It's not something that you did wrong, because sometimes if you go to the public places, the way that people will look at, and if they started acting out,
they give you that look.
Sometimes the comment that you get, it's not the saddest thing that it comes from people who are very close to you. So but the thing is that sometimes it's not their fault. They are also
oversensitized sometimes in places.
So one thing I will encourage parents is that you're a good parent. You're doing your best. Don't give up. You're all that your child needs, and then you can do this. With God, all things are possible. So just use that to nurture everything that has been placed inside of them to come out.
Wow. Good luck beating that, Dr. Say. Do you have anything to add? She said it. Two shall become one. So that's a very... Thank you so much for sharing today. Now let's move into our countries. You know, even though... Let's talk about our relations between our countries. We know we have that mutual love for soccer. And then we've still yet to... We don't ever see eye to eye on, jollof rice. No. Oh, by the way, guys, if my ancestors might be turning right now. I tried Ghana jollof rice today, and it was really nice. And I think I'm okay with it just calling another kind of rice. I think the bone of contention is that it's called jollof rice. If you guys say Ghana rice, then I'll say it belongs in its own category. I think it's just semantic. Again, labels, right? But what do you guys think about Nigerians? I'm sure you've met we're everywhere, we're loud, and all. I led into that. But what are your thoughts about Nigerians? Because you made a comment about Nigeria the other time, which I'm going to bring up again. But let me just start. I think let's start with Dr. Osei, Dr. Richard Osei, because they're both doctors. What are your opinions about Nigerians, or even Nigeria as a country?
I don't have anything because one of my cousins is married to a Nigerian.
Yeah.
They back in Texas now, but I mean, just people.
Just people?
Yeah, just people like everybody else.
Yeah. So. I think Nana has more to say. Yeah. Let me focus on you. Okay. It's okay, say it. It's nothing I haven't heard before. Yeah.
Okay. But first of all, let me. I think there's not much difference between Nigerians and Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Because come to think that I can really relate with not even just like West Africans. It's just like siblings.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Like if you have more siblings, you always have two of them that wouldn't really see eye to eye. But at the end of the day, there's so much love between them.
Yes,
if you're a third person, then you attack one of them.
We're coming for you, yes.
That's how I see Nigerians. Like, I just see it like me and then my siblings.
Yeah.
We are very tight knit.
Yeah. Nobody can mess with them, but I can mess with them.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I see it.
Yeah. There's something you said on the table where I think we're talking about inflation, and you were telling me how the CDs has gone from $1 to one CD to like $8, and when I first heard it, my opinion was that, it's just $8. But if you do that multiplication by 8, that's like, times 8 of what it used to be. That's, significant. Yeah. And often our denomination Naira has also gone up from like 110, about 10 years ago to almost 700 and something today. So that's like times 7. So our countries are hurting. And then you said something about how Nigeria, the rest of Africa looks up to Nigeria. So if Nigeria is hurting that bad, it's an indication of the continent. Yeah. So I guess, and then we started talking about how we've never really been blessed with very great leaders. And even the ones we were blessed with, the West, made them look like, despots and dictators and all that. Yeah. Libya, for example, So let me just ask this question. I've asked it many times. Looking at just the issues you may have in Ghana, and let's extrapolate that to Africa as a whole, what hope do you have for your country, and what are some of the things you feel like Ghana needs to get right for it to be greater than it is right now?
I think, first of all, people need to change their mindset. Mindset is everything, and I think that's what is really not making the country go on. If we are able to change the mindset with the future generation, then we have a future. Because I don't know if it's about other African countries. If you go to buy something, everybody has the mindset of trying to cheat you. Like if you talk about work ethic, Ghanaians are very, very hard working. But sometimes, like if you stay here for a long time and then you go back home, you see that it's quite different. Even with the way that they serve people, be like, well, they can't do this in America.
You'll have been fired or cancelled. Yeah.
So I think it's more about the mindset. If people don't change the mindset, it doesn't matter the leaders or the political party that will come into power. If people are still corrupt.
Yeah.
If people still have the mindset to cheat,
to get at the other person,
or not even put in their best effort at work, what good does it do for the country as well?
Thank you for that, Dr. Osei.
Yeah, I say the same. Like, as a whole, like you have to change your whole mind. People want something for themselves, not thinking about the future, not even for their kids. They want now.
Yeah.
Like they always, how can I get more now?
Present oriented.
Instead of even thinking about like, if I work here, this is paying my bills and I can be fed for a long time. Mm-hmm. They will do something stupid to get something more and end up losing their job. And I hear a lot of stories like that. Like, why would you do that? Yeah. Like, you had a job, everything was going on, and you went and did something stupid. Because the mindset is everybody trying to get rich quick or try to advance quickly, but don't want to put in the work or wait for the process to get them there. So, that's one of the things.
I mean, you haven't said anything that, I haven't also thought about my country as well. And I think, in addition to that, one theory I have is also how Africa, even as a Nigerian, I still don't know a lot about the continent because we weren't taught, a lot about ourselves when we were in school. And if I even think about that trauma theory, I think Africa has suffered a lot, but still, this is new colonization. They must have left, with the exception of countries like Cameroon and Mali. France is still heavily, into their pockets. But perhaps what we see as being, present-oriented, that instant gratification, is because people are still under trauma in a way. Our countries are still yet to recover. Don't get me wrong, we have very bad leadership. Yeah. Our leaders could do better. Yeah. We can't just blame the colonizers. It's been, for my country, for example, it's been 60 years. Come on, really, it's been more than 60 years since they left. What have you guys done? We still keep the corrupt politicians still keep
the
coming.
People might be gone, but their influence is still there.
It's still there.
Don't get me wrong. People that's coming in, paying
puppets
people
and all that.
Do the things they want to do, but they can't do in the light. So it's still the same thing. It's just now moved from the light into the background. So you don't see a person just like you, but they doing the things for them. So
I agree with that. But there's some countries that have actually resisted. Like Ethiopia, for example, even though now they're having a lot of tribal clashes, they were the only African country that was never colonized. And even Rwanda, Kagame is doing a lot. And they even have like a sordid history with, the ethnic cleansing and what happened in 1994 and all that. So, I mean, I guess the hopes you have for your country is also the hopes I have for my country. Because I love it back home. I don't know about you guys. Every time I travel back home, there's a comfort I feel. Like I don't have to explain myself.
Not too much stress,
No, there's stress there. There's stress there. There's chaotic in Lagos where I'm from. But it's almost like an irony. I feel more comfortable back home than here. Even though there's so many comfort measures. There's light, internet, good roads. Back home sometimes it's like a jungle, but I find more peace back home than here.
But I think for back home, like the stress level, every place is different, but for me, from my perspective, the stress level was quite different
than the one here.
Yeah, like you see happy people
despite not having much.
Yeah, despite not having much. But you come back here and then anxiety,
the bills, because if you don't work, you don't. Like back home, you can still have people to fall, over. Oh, go stay with that uncle. Yeah, most people are just one paycheck away from being homeless. You're back on the streets, and the grind never ends. Yeah. You work yourself to the bone, and it's almost like it's just never enough. So, let's talk about your careers. You pharmacist, congratulations. I know it wasn't long ago you got your degrees. I mean, let's just acknowledge that's a very tough, field, and you've had your fair share of, just things you've gone through. First of all, why pharmacy? I probably know the answer to that question, but for the audience who are just meeting you for the first time, why did you choose to study pharmacy?
It's a long story. I mean, it's not. I believe it's in my blood. It's not something I can run away from. Although I tried so many times. I tried to run away from it to do chemical engineering. But then God in his mighty ways, when I came here, all the doors closed and it was only pharmacy that was open.
Wow.
For me to walk through. I'll say the biggest inspiration comes from my dad. He's a pharmacist. He's still a pharmacist.
Yeah.
And I just watched him, helping people. It was just part of our lives. people could just walk into our home. Hey, I need, my daughter is suffering, my son is suffering. Can you help him out? And then he just go back to the kitchen, do something, and then back. So
like a magician.
Yeah. So I just see how much of help that he was to the community. It made me secret a long time ago that, hey, I may follow on that path. But I didn't do pharmacy with my first degree. I did chemical engineering, but when I came here, I had to start all over again.
Oh, you had a degree in chemical engineering?
Yeah.
So you have 2 degrees?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Of course, you had a pre-pharmacy?
Yeah.
What was your, you did 4 years?
No, I was able to transfer some of my credits from the chemical, so it got me chemistry.
Wow.
Degree. Yeah.
Look at you. I didn't know that. So you actually went to study that chemical engineering, but you couldn't use it to work here.
Yeah, I had to start all over. But then I saw that it was a blessing in disguise, because over there, back home, after you finish your secondary school or high school, whatever, it is your grade, your WASI.
That determines where you go,
Back, I wouldn't have been able to do pharmacy, because the only thing I could do was chemical engineering or something else. But when I came here and I had to start all over again, I feel like there were so many opportunities, and I was able to pursue pharmacy. There was no cut off that was limit me from
pursuing it. Yeah.
So that was a very big opportunity for me to just go back to something that I couldn't do when I was in Ghana.
Yeah, and I imagine you're one of the oldest in your class as well.
Yeah, I was.
How was that? How was that like? Especially when you see those kids complaining about you, like.
Yeah. It was fun, right? Because I think my face also helped me a lot.
Because you look young.
But if I say, oh, I have to go home to my kids, I'm like, how old are you? Okay, I'm not that traditional. I'm an old lady. I'm in my 30s. It was. I got to really learn so much about the younger. Population. And I think it kind of helped me a lot as a professional. And I also realized that I wasn't alone, because there were other
couple that were there.
One guy.
I remember.
He was there. He was older. And back then we wouldn't see older people with children.
In school, like that's my first degrees as it were. Yes.
Yeah, but here I'm like doing my own thing. In the midst of young people. I didn't really feel awkward.
I mean, maybe after school things would differ. Whereas they might maybe want to go downtown and go. You couldn't do it. You had to come home and take care of the kids and all that. Okay, nice. How about you, Dr. Osei? So I know you have a PhD in computer science. You teach in a HBCU college. So can you walk us through your career path and why computer science?
I always like messing with stuff, trying to figure out how things work. So that kind of led me to, because in the beginning, my uncle in Illinois, I didn't even want to go to college, because at first I was like, I'm not good for college. I'm not smart enough or something like that. And he was like, if you're not going, then you might have to go back home. To
like, no.
Okay, let me find something to go to. So I ended up Langston because I had a low score on my ACT, and Langston give you an opportunity to do remedial courses. So I came here and went through. And I remember one of my the department head, the computer science. He looked at my grade. He was like, "You cannot be a computer science student."
Wow.
This,
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, he actually, years after I left, he was using me as an example. All the students know my name. They was like, "Oh, he talk about you all the time." He talk about you.
I'm glad he redeemed himself.
I mean, sometimes I don't know. There are people when you talk to them like that, you're gonna affect them. But if you have the mindset, like I can do it, you just have to push yourself.
Yes.
Like some of the things I learned about developing websites and stuff like that. I was on the scholarship program, and his name is Dr. Coleman. He still worked Langston, and he was like, "How can you call yourself a computer science student and you can't create a website for me?"
Wow.
So,
that
became and I went on and I started building, and he paid me for doing websites for him. And now I've learned after I've been doing, people pay me to do website all the time, and now I don't even want to do it.
Because you've done it?
No, because the pay might not be enough.
But what's your time? So,
it's like seeing something like a challenge. Like,
you need more challenge. You've conquered that,
So, and step by step. So when I finished, at that time I had like multiple scholarships to like Carnegie Mellon, Howard, and OSU also gave me a scholarship. But OSU had the biggest amount. They was paying $30,000 to go to school. Without, after your tuition, they basically paying you just to be a student. So
take it.
So I stayed, and I'm stuck here in Oklahoma.
But PhD though, that's like a whole different kind of beast.
Yeah.
What made you want to go into academia?
I've always been teaching at church and tutoring. Even though I was struggling, I was helping other students. So I was
learning through teaching.
Teaching all the time. Wow. And I did a job right before she was working in water plants in Ghana after her, and I was doing water plants automation with a company, and then it didn't go well, and I was still finishing up my master's, and I couldn't. So I called Dr. Coleman, the one I just met. He was like, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody to do XYZ. Can you do it?" It was technology related, so I came and started working, and then I started going back to school again to finish everything. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just staying around people with education background also push you to do the same.
Yeah. Wow. So I work in academia like you, but I don't work in a HBCU. I imagine for yours there's more diversity, not just of skills, but also of people there. And would you say that has been quite helpful for you, seeing people more like you and sharing your, I guess, having that commonality of struggles, and you're able to open up to them?
Yeah. Yes. First time I came to Langston, it was 2003, and I went. I got my apartment, and I went to bed. And when it was time to go get dinner, I walked outside, and I thought I was in Ghana, and it was just everybody
in Oklahoma.
And I was like, "Where am I?" I was like,
"Was that in my dreams?"
Yeah, because everybody is black, looked like me, and the only thing I was like, "Oh, they speak in English."
Yeah.
But that was because I have not seen that in a long time.
In Oklahoma, because you came from even Illinois.
That was my first day in Oklahoma.
Oh, so
I stayed in Illinois.
Wow.
Just
different kinds of people. Yeah.
But it helped me deal with meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was a lot of people from Africa, Ethiopia, basically everywhere in Africa. Yeah. But I wasn't part of the African community or nothing like that. I was like, I'm here. I'm still the same.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you're African. We friends.
I'll relate with you. Are you a good person?
We just do what we got to do and move on. So I didn't join any specific international group, nothing like that. I just did whatever I had to do.
That's your preference. That's good to hear. Thanks for sharing that. So I think one more question around the academic route. I have, in addition to being an immigrant to Oklahoma, to the US, and then being in a department, I mean, you remember when you were, so I work in the university where, Nana finished from. There are not many people like us there, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not always hung up on, race, but I think sometimes there's so much burden on us to always keep accommodating so many things. Like, just meet me halfway. I want to learn from you as much as, you want to learn from me. Don't put all the teaching on me. And it's also the struggles of being female. So female, black, immigrant. I want to ask you, you're male, and your field is predominantly male. More men do computer sciences. I don't want to assume that you don't have your challenges, right? What would you say as, assistant professor? Because I'm honest, but like at the bottom of the food chain for now, before we, get promoted. What are some struggles that are peculiar to you and your field?
I mean, it would just be the students. The challenge would be the student.
How so?
Is their respect level and like entitled. I kind of like make things easy. Like when I was doing the computers and when I started, they just give you a lecture and you go figure out how to set up everything to do it. But in my classroom, I have a lab, a computer, so we go over the theory and this is how, let's do it right now. So when you go home, you know exactly what to do. And sometimes I give them a hint. And I remember one time, one girl, she was like, just tell me already. Tell me the answer. I was like, what's the point of you being here? If I'm going to just give you an answer to the question that I'm asking you. What's the point of you being here?
Meanwhile, your professor told you to go and build a website. Yeah. A whole website.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah. She was cussing at me.
Whoa.
Yeah, in the middle of the class. And every student like, what is wrong with you? Like,
yeah.
So
I miss the African way sometimes.
It's the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even.
You're done. You're matriculating that day. You're done. Like yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think sometimes even back home abuse occurs, but I like a mixture. At least respect. And I feel like sometimes the school doesn't back you up as a professor. There's more power given to the students because they are the ones generating the income, right? If they don't pay the tuition and get those student loans, they are not able to finance universities.
Yeah, but there are times that I got to tell them, no, you can't. And one student, it was something that I was like, here is the number to the head of the department, to the chair of the dean, and to the university president. Go and report everything to them. And then they responded like, oh, I'm sorry, can you do that? I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Because sometimes they try to... Because they know that, like, the university or somebody might support because of what you just said, because they're paying tuition and doing all that stuff. So I just tell them, like, this is the chain of order. If you skip it, they're going to kick you right back. So call the department head, call the dean, and then you can go talk to the president if you want. And then it was like, okay. I was like, just do that. I gave them the numbers, email, like, here you go knock yourself out. And then they had to come and apologize. Because they know, like, I'm not scared because I know I'm trying to teach you something and you just trying to find a way around it to get. Like, some of them even ask, like, why can I get this grade? Like, you didn't do the work.
Extra points,
Yeah, again, to go back is the students and entitled. The worst one was, I think, maybe the student might had a mental problem or something like that. She sent me an email. She's supposed to get an A because somebody else told him, as long as they do some student activities, they're fine for the class. I was like,
a trophy
programming class. You were in the class maybe 4 times
out of the whole
semester, and you want to get it.
And you had the effort to send an email.
Yeah, and I just sent it to my head of the department. I didn't respond to it. It's like,
you'll take care of that. Yeah. I get that struggle still. And sometimes you feel like your hands are tied, but then. Some students also actually make you worth it. I'm like, okay, thank God. At least somebody sees your effort. And I think sometimes it also could be the generational gap between them. I don't know. Maybe I'm showing you my age, but I'm like, I couldn't do half of I can't even do a smidge of what you guys do right now. When I was in pharmacy school, I would have been kicked out. I don't even have the boldness to start asking for extra points. At the end of the, like, what have you done to gain it? But, oh well. So I know another thing you do, Dr. Say, you teach black kids how to code. Mm-hmm. So let's deconstruct that a little bit, no pun intended. Why that particular demographic and what's the age group and what's inspired that? 3 questions in one.
Just coding, basically. It's not a lot of programmers that are black. Most of the time, job goes, people outsource it. Because they can't find anybody qualified for it. So my whole goal was basically introduce people into computing and even just to use a computer. If they get excited about just using a computer, that's fine. But just to get them to know, like, oh, you can actually do this. It's not like something distant. Like
out of reach,
it's doable. So, I've been, since I've been in Langston, I've been the black community. So, anybody is welcome, but most of the time, since we stay around a black community, we go to a black
because it's well needed there, because a lot of them don't have money to pay for camps and summer programs.
Yes. So that's one of the things that I told Pastor, and he his daughter was also going to school, and they were talking about coding. So he told me, I was like, yeah, we can start doing.
Oh, so it's through the church.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we started doing that.
So what's I know you probably leave it open ended, but what's the youngest you've had in class? What's the oldest you've had in class?
I think I did like 5. Youngest is 5.
Oh.
So they can understand and
how
not
to use
cry,
the computer,
and then they can stay by themselves.
Yeah.
So we always started with typing.
Okay.
So we go into a typing program, learning the keyboard.
Mavis.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, I learned with Mavis.
Oh yeah. Oh, with typewriter.
Yeah.
With typewriter.
Still a struggle.
So yeah, we started with that, and then last summer we did. I bought a couple of robots, and then I have them put it together and started programming
them. Yeah.
So they can tell it.
Yeah.
From the computer what it should do and this and that.
Huh.
So they were excited and they had a good time.
So when I walked in today, your oldest daughter, Candice, is like she's been beaten by the computer bug, no pun intended. She showed me, because I don't know how the conversation came about, but the moment she started talking about her computers and her gadget, I could see her eyes. I mean, she was just stringing out the conversations. I'm like, oh, that's a button right there to press. And she showed me her little robot, the one she programmed.
Yeah.
How fascinating is that she's this young? And
it's very, because not everybody at church or the program, because I was doing it every Saturday. Every Saturday we go and do it. And after a while, it was like about 30 kids and the numbers kept going down. As we started doing
practical stuff,
getting harder. We do a code to do a loop, tell a robot to do this many times, and they had a good time. So now I put it together like, let's write a code to do something complete. Let's write a game. We start with a simple game, and now we graduate and going up, and then I see the numbers kept going down and down and down. So some of them they're not interested. They just want to have fun. Something simple.
Yeah.
So I was like, they can come, they can play on the computer, learn something. But also, I think parents might not have every day. Because I want it to be consistent. If you learn it every Saturday, you're learning something.
Yeah.
So, and the numbers, so we just cut it down to, we're just going to do summer camps. So I can have them all week or 2 weeks.
Immerse them.
We do that.
Yeah. So you and your daughter, I guess, that's a special bond you have together. Cause,
she likes coding. She's one of the people. She gets sad when I cancel because I got to go somewhere on that Saturday and I can't do coding. And she's really sad about it.
Yeah, because I think you were telling me that today is like no gadgets day.
I'm glad that they came up with the coding class because it made us realize that our own daughter too is really
into it. Yeah. You didn't know it before then?
No, she even before she turned 1, she figured out the code to iPad. She could navigate and do. It was like that time when Disney let it go. That's
oh my gosh.
I know she couldn't spell it, but she know if I go
to the browser
YouTube, I can click on this video. This will give me a reference to this. Click this one, and then I'll get to the song that I want. So you would turn it off, and then she click within about 1 minute, and you hear the song. I was like,
how did she?
I have to search for her to find it, but she just click.
Isn't it amazing how these, especially kids these days, the way they're technological savvy?
She teaches me a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, seriously.
That's humbling, right?
Yeah. She did a whole lot. Mommy, just do it this way, and then within 3 seconds,
it's done. Like the password to your Wi-Fi. She knew the password. Nana was still asking, is it lowercase? She's like, Mom, it's all lowercase. And it worked. But that's the prayer, right? That the kids should be greater than, the glory of the kids should. Yeah, so that's prayer is answered right there. And kudos to you guys for finding ways to express, their love languages and, find things that really excite them and, each child is different, right? What might interest one might be different from another.
Yeah, Cassie likes swimming, so.
Oh.
Water.
Yeah. So, like, did you have to teach her how to swim, or she just?
No, we haven't even actually had a class because she will not listen. She just want to jump in.
Oh, she's like my daughter.
She dive in and then come out and then jump back in. She figured out swimming a little bit under it, and then she would come up.
And that's it.
Yeah, she just get excited. She could do that all
day. Yeah. See, different strokes for different folks. Yeah. I guess my last question, I think, would be this. And people ask this a lot. Are there any plans to like maybe go back to Ghana and relocate or settle back?
I mean, we're still planning on that in case if we decide to go.
Yeah.
But at first I was, but right now I'm not really like I'm gonna be moving fully back.
Yeah.
But we're still making. We got some developments and stuff like that going on in Ghana. So we might. Who knows the future? So whatever happens, we'll have a place of our own and all the stuff. So we have those in planning. It's in progress. We already started it, but we just want to make sure we cover it wherever way, whatever that we might find ourselves to be.
And I guess another thing could also be that no matter where you guys are, as long as you're together, you have yourselves. You can always, that's the beauty about being an immigrant. Once you've operated yourself from that road, it's like, I'm flexible, Yeah. So, the queen just died. Not our queen, but the queen.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of mixed... I don't know if you've been on Twitter, the angriest place on earth. Like, 3 schools of thought. Those who don't care, because, I don't know this person that much, just an old person dying. I mean, 96, she's lived a ripe old age. The second group of people are those who are really mourning her, usually those based in the UK who had that attachment to her. And then the third group of people, which, I'm like, is a little bit extreme, are those who were asking, I hope she died in excruciating pain. And it's usually those that are very, Afrocentric, and they are bringing just, the way the British plundered and looted, our countries and their influence. What are your opinions about the Queen? And I know your Ghanaian president, he made the comment, like, almost like in commemoration, almost like in solidarity, like, we as a country and all that. His views might not necessarily represent all Ghanaians. But,
definitely.
But we share another commonality. We share, apart from borders, is we're both colonized by the British people. Yeah. But what are your opinions? And I know you might probably have different opinions. About Queen.
I mean, she's an old person, so. Everybody dies. So, it's time to go. It's not sad like somebody young.
Yeah. I mean, sorry coming. So I mean, her husband died last April, so it was a matter of time before she would follow.
I was sad.
Why?
No.
This is American Nana talking right now, right?
I was sad a little bit because I just see that with her death, I don't know what is going to happen in the UK with the kingdom, like, no, listen,
you should look at your husband's face.
She was the one, for me, in my opinion, I think she was the one that has been holding the fort for the longest period of time.
Yeah, but do we even need the monarchy at this age?
Nobody really cares. It's just something they have. It's a tradition that they just keep it going. Yeah. They have their government system that is running.
Prime Minister is different from that.
Yeah.
But it's decorative right now. Yeah, even though they pay a lot of taxes to fund their lifestyle. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't think a lot of British should be very excited about this. No, most of them might not even care because they're paying a lot to fund their lifestyle.
I'm thinking it's such, but they have to sacrifice. I think they did a whole lot of things for their kingdom, whether good or bad, to be at the place which is at now, because they had to go to African countries, other places. They took a whole lot of resources to build their own.
Exactly. So that's more reason we shouldn't really be.
Yeah, it's like I remember
Stockholm syndrome.
I was in Ghana back then when Princess Diana died.
Yeah.
I never heard of that person ever before. It was on CNN.
Yeah, every day. Yeah, the next 2 weeks.
No, the reason why I like her is that I think she was different from...
Did you know her before that?
But did you No, I've heard of her.
Nobody knew that person.
You know what I like about your husband? He keeps referring to them as that person. He refuses to even call them like that. Did you know that person? He's like somebody on the streets.
I didn't know that person existed until they died.
Like they have no bearing over my life.
I like that she was very diplomatic because I don't even think those other monarchs before her, they even went to visit their colonies.
But what's that? A lot can be said against that though.
It's photo shoot.
Exactly. It's photo op. Yeah.
Just take a picture. I'm gone. That's it. That's what they do.
You know, I don't know about Ghana, but they're still recovering a lot of our monies, you know, and a lot of our artifacts. And
then she really gave a whole bunch of money, like whenever Ghana... But
that's your money. It's like somebody stealing from your house and then bringing back the money. It was yours.
For her, she was diplomatic enough to return somebody.
Why did they steal it in the first place?
The dad and all those people that were before, they didn't even really care about her.
No, that's so nice. I like how you're seeing a different perspective.
Yeah, I said that, and I feel that as a woman, there are so many things to learn about her, like being like what do you call it, a monarch. I really like the way that the respect that she gave to the husband and also trying to keep the family
together. Yeah, that I can say. Yeah. Like, even though there's still some things she did to Diana and all that I was still hearing about. But I don't know how I feel about a king in London. It's almost like we're back to the medieval days. Queen of England felt, at least, motherly, but King of England, good luck with that.
I think
or that person, like you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Let me try to frame my words.
Okay.
I'm thinking that with the Queen dying, it looks like the royal family is done. It's not like seriously. It's entering like a new era.
Yeah.
A modernized like monarchy.
Yeah.
It's not needed no more.
Exactly. We don't need monarchy.
She was the one that was holding it.
Yeah. I mean, she survived how many prime ministers? Like, she was there when Winston Churchill, he's been dead for how long? And in the recent one that just got into power, she was born 100 years later from when Churchill was born. I mean, she outlived them all. She
was there in 1957 when Ghana had
independence. Yeah, I saw the video.
All the people that were there, they're all gone. I mean, she's 96 years old. You know how much it took to keep that woman alive? It took a lot of money and a lot of great healthcare system and doctors and all that.
But she's lucky. She lived a very fabulous life now. No worries.
It's a life people might dream.
Yeah.
Can only dream of.
Yeah, but at least there's still so many good things about her.
Yeah. I mean, no human is totally bad. Everybody, we have that two sides of us, right?
Yeah.
As we wrap up, what's the next 5 years going to look like for you guys? Like, if you could just, speak into that future, and I don't want to even use 5 years. Let's just give whatever time frame you want to use. What would you have liked to have, accomplished or impact you'd have loved to have made in the coming years?
As I was talking to your husband about it, we started a movie.
Tell us about that.
Studio that we're working on. So we bought a building, and it was an old bank, that big, and then so
you're in Oklahoma City, right?
Yeah. So we building the inside, the offices right now, and then we're gonna start producing movies. So coming future, be doing more of that, and hopefully retire pretty soon. My retirement age was 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to be retired doing what I want to do.
Instead of having to depend on,
Yeah, because most of my friends, they into real estate and they have property. So they wake up whenever they want to. They go buy another property, fix it up, and that's that. They make money from that. So I'm planning on doing that, and also just to use my time to help other people, teach, do whatever. But I want it to be on my own time, not to be forced or be dependent on
that income. If you don't do it, then you can't pay the bills.
So that's the plan that we have. Like we need to do much now, so in the future we don't have to.
Because this is the time you have the energy. And don't you even notice how in America, especially those that are older, I still find them working. Not because they want to work, but they have to work. And it's like almost like a slavery in a way. Like you're chained to that machine, and I don't want to be that way.
It's the same here.
Exactly.
I don't want. So what I think he said most of the stuff, but I'm thinking about finding something outside of pharmacy, like to do, but that will be more about like volunteering. So we started the Great Commission.
As you can see some of the bags over there.
Like to send stuff?
Computers. So we work with preachers that, basically God has called them. So
I know Great Commission, the missionary stuff. I know that.
So we just basically want to help them so they can go and not worry about financial stuff. And then also we collect donation clothes and stuff like that. So some of those and computers buy from websites, use one,
and then just fix them up and then send
it so they can give to people. So we want to be able to go on a mission trip, spread the gospel.
Pending there,
but you got to have the funds.
So
we work now, and then maybe in the future we'll be free to do whatever we want to do.
Now, do you want to highlight that movie you did on Netflix as well?
The movie is called Black Wall Street Burning. So it's not on Netflix, but it's on you can find it on YouTube, Tubi.
Tubi.
YouTube you have to pay for it. And Amazon you have to pay for it, but you can have one watch it on Tubi. So it's about what happened back in 1920s.
Yes.
They call it Tulsa Race Massacre.
Yes.
Where they destroy a whole.
It was and they're still yet to recover.
Yes.
So, anyways.
So we had a lot of people wanted to do the movie, but I always couldn't do it. So my friends was like, let's do it.
And this was like a documentary, right?
No. We made it to a movie.
Well, I have to go see that.
They showed it in Hawkins
Theater. Just not too far from here.
It was going on before Corona. It was going all over the country. People were requesting to put it in the movie theaters. And then
it's possible that my church actually did a pre-screening of it because Juneteenth. I think they showed a clip of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to corroborate that. But it sounds familiar the way you're talking about it now. Yeah. Oh wow. Well, it's been really nice getting to share your story. You people are so humble and yet rich, in spirit and in every sense of that word. And I think for me, what I'm taking from our conversation today is, just keep going. And let God be the center of it. And family is just your family. Once you can start with your family, you can make the world a better place. Spend time with your children, equip them, teach them how to also treat other people. And everybody did that. The world invariably becomes a better place. I go for it. Your dreams go for it. Because you being one of the oldest people in your class, that could have, you had a degree from Ghana. You could have stayed at home, but you found something to do. So again, whatever your hands, find to do them well. And then give to others, like your time with coding, helping out with Great Commission, and how you can even impact your community. I bet even in your school, when you told your students your story of how your GP wasn't even quite high enough for computer science, and here you are now, a whole PhD, and then in academia, like, come on now.
Even to add to that, I know we are wrapping up, and you know how, I don't know if that's in Nigeria, but some people major in science in the high school. He didn't even do something.
Oh, really? Oh, we missed that part. What literature? What did you study?
I was doing visual arts.
Whoa! So you can even add like animations. You can add that to your coding and all that. Or what did you do?
Really, I quit. I started doing it. I met some people here when I came to high school. They can do like amazing stuff. I was like, I was just playing. So let me stop doing it.
So, but can you draw and all that? Like you?
Yeah.
Wow. Any of your kids pick up that talent?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe Charles, Maybe. Yeah. Oh, nice. So you actually did a pivot. It's like you went from visual to computer.
Yeah.
We should have explored that angle, but anyway. We'll save that for another time. Okay. But thank you. I mean, thank you for inviting me to your home, and I got double what I even wanted, because you told me that I was actually interested in learning more about coding, but I'm glad you also joined. I think this was even way better than I expected, because I got the privilege of sharing your story. Well, on behalf of everybody on the podcast, I want to say thank you and wishing you guys all the very best.
Thank you.
Take care. Wow. Thanks a lot.